Peachy Peaches. Thank you, man. I really appreciate you taking the battle head on and not bending for anyone. Peace and love. I appreciate your guys' words, man, for real. Thank you. I got a lot of people telling me a lot of shit right now on both sides of the spectrum. But I mean, at the end of the day, again, I spoke with my wife. I spoke with my father, man. I spoke with my grandma. I know where I'm at.
What's going on, guys? It's Hit You Good, your favorite all-American freedom-loving gamer. I want to give a big thanks for that last video. You guys showed some amazing support on that, leaving comments and likes on it. So let's do it again. Y'all seem to like, me covering the Nickmercs stuff. I like covering it. I like being involved in the culture war. It's really, really intriguing to see, how things are starting to swing the other way. But I was watching Nickmercs, stuff today. I was watching his Twitch stream. It's the second one since he's been back. And man, it's popping off like crazy. He had a lot of really interesting things to say, and I cut him up a little bit here, and I figured, man, my audience would really enjoy this. But before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment, but also hop over to Rumble. We are over there on Alt Tech. We're not gonna sit here and solely rely on YouTube with their immoral censorship practices, shutting down YouTube channels they don't like. There's plenty of stuff to go over in a different video, but we're not relying on them. We're relying on Alt Tech as well. If you want to join the movement of conservative gamers over there, definitely check out Rumble. I'm gonna leave a link in the description below. But today it was really, really refreshing to see someone in the gaming community talk about political things and do it with confidence and a laid backness, that a lot of people could accept. And I think, sometimes it does need to be that way. That's not exactly my brand, but in his brand, that's kind of how it has to be. He talks about Ron Desantis. He talks about COVID. He talks about, leaving the kids alone. And he also lets us know what the future of his channel is regarding Call of Duty. But let's listen in just a little bit. And I've got commentary in between, some of this stuff. But it's pretty refreshing stuff.
Yeah, I got a lot of people, on Twitter that disagree with my stance on this whole thing, and I got a lot of people that agree. But something that I see is as well, there's a lot of parents that agree, man. Again, perspective's everything. A lot of these people don't have kids, and they're over here talking the most about this shit, and it's like, you don't have any kids. Then again, I don't want to be the I'm brand new. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna. I've been a dad for 10 years or something, but Florida governor ain't an idiot. I see everybody pressing me on that, man. But I love the way that he handled the whole COVID thing. Not to get overly political, man, but.
And he did you can go back and look through Twitter, and he gets in some pretty heated arguments with people. Of course, people are like, oh, he's a genocidal maniac. How are you supporting him? Just way over the top. But it's kind of refreshing because even back then, I think it was like June the 3rd, you can look up, there was a big, back and forth. He basically said Ron DeSantis is the GOAT.
I mean, that's a big part of the reason we moved down here, man. Shit.
But yeah.
It's incredible.
Pretty basic.
I love that, man. How do y'all not love that? Everywhere else was closed down. Fucking businesses went under everywhere. Florida was the opposite, man.
Yeah. And that being said, he's talking about, perspectives, where I hate that he had to get the perspective of being a dad before this kind of clicked. And a lot of people do. Something has to directly impact them before they realize the truth on a certain matter, which really sucks, And a lot of people out on Twitter and a lot of leftists, or even if they're leaning left, it doesn't impact them, so they're going to see it this specific way. I never felt like I had to do that to see if something was just or not. But the really cool thing about everything that's going on with Nickmercs here is he's not backing down, because if you apologize to the woke crowd, they're going to own you for the rest of your life. Now, I know that Nickmercs is no stranger to controversy, but that being said, he hasn't really been engaged in the culture war. So I don't know if, it's a very simple formula. Just don't apologize, don't back down, double down. When you double down, you take that power away from the woke mob, and they know that there's no strings attached to that. And eventually they're not only going to leave you alone, but you're going to flourish. And as you saw in my last video, I mean, he's popping off. There's like 25,000 people watching his streams. He got 11,000 subs in his last stream. I don't know. He's not finished with his first stream today. But I mean, things are going really well for Nickmercs just because he's standing up. And what is really sickening to me as well is the fact that he's getting phone calls and people are like, hey, yeah, well, I support you, man, but I can't really say anything right now. Bro, if you're a content creator and you're watching this and you were one of the people that called him and said, I can't support, I want to support you, but I can't say anything, you're a coward. You are a straight up coward. You see, even seeing the success that Nickmercs is getting off of this, you're still so afraid of the backlash that the left is such a bully to you that you will cower and be prevented from saying, yeah, maybe we shouldn't sexualize children. Like, you are clinging to your income, you're clinging to your name, you're clinging to those things. And this very basic principle of maybe we should leave the kids alone, you can't even stand on that. Like, I'm sorry, bro, but you're a coward if you're not backing up Nickmercs on this very simple and non-controversial item. And of course, he gets back to talking about Ron DeSantis here, which is cool.
Please listen. If you listen to anything I said over the past whatever, just listen to this part, okay? One part. Even if you hate my guts, just one part, okay? Listen. We don't have to agree. I don't fucking hate you either way, okay? We can agree to disagree. That's totally fine. You know, you don't have to be aligned with everybody on everything, you know?
Yep.
That's not what it's about. Okay? I mean, sure it's a lot easier if we all do agree, but we don't agree on some of these things. And that's okay. That's okay. It's not the end of the fucking world.
I love looking at chat.
You know, opinions change, people change. You know, you go through life. You know, you feel some type of way about something, and then you learn more, and then you don't, or you do. I don't know, but the point is that we can agree to disagree. It's not the end of the fucking world.
Yeah.
You know, you don't got to try to cancel people. You don't got to try to like be the first one to pull the rug, just because, you know, of a leave children alone tweet. That's crazy. Even if you don't agree, it doesn't need to be this like, oh, now he hates all these people. That's not what I said. And it's the same thing with the governor thing. People are throwing my love for DeSantis back in my face, saying, oh, you support this then? You support that then? I mean, there's a few things that he's gone out and done and said that I don't support, you know? But
I don't know if he's saying that because on Twitter, he's pretty supportive. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, he's in love with DeSantis or anything, or try to use that as clickbait. But there may be a few things that they disagree with, and you're never going to agree with one person 100% of the time. But I think Nickmercs is a pretty tried and true DeSantis fan. If I was a gambling man, that's what I would bet.
I just have a lot of love for the way that he carried and handled himself during that whole COVID thing, man.
Block
I really do.
Baby, fourth and long
I really do, man.
Still 5 apostrophe
I appreciate that deeply,
love
man.
You, Nikki.
I appreciate it deeply. Okay? But whatever. You guys don't have to fuck with them. That's fine. That's fine. You can L it, you can W it, it's fine. You know?
You can flip it, you can flop it.
Yikes. Kim, your name is Kim Jong Steve. Telling me yikes, man. Brother, what? What do you mean, yikes? What is it? And I mean, again, if we're going to peel that COVID thing back, I still don't see the harm in allowing people to live their lives. At the end of the day, if you felt a type of way, you can put the mask on.
Absolutely. Now, this is the thing. Like, come on, Nick, where were you? Now, maybe he said something, but I didn't hear about it. And I had my finger on the pulse pretty decently. Maybe I didn't hear about it, but where was this talk? Everybody wants to come out 3 years after the fact and be like, oh yeah, have opinion on it. But back then they were so scared to say anything. And of course, I am very glad he's stepping up and talking now, for sure. No doubt about it. It's very helpful for someone with his kind of following to be talking about this now. So if anything like that happens in the future, maybe we will retain a little bit of knowledge about it.
You cannot go anywhere. You can order your food to your house. You can answer the phone. You don't got to go outside. Okay? You can make that decision because you're free to do that. But other people are free to fucking walk out their door. They're allowed to do that too. That's it. Do what you want to do.
And you know, he's talking about at the beginning of this little snippet right here, he's talking about, you know, hey, we don't have to agree. And see, that's the whole thing. is everything's become so polarized because of the way the left views things. And there's certain things that I'm not going to give up on either. You know, there's certain principles that I am not going to compromise on. Now, I'll sit and talk with someone for sure, but the whole premise is that we have been taught for so long that we cannot talk about politics and we cannot talk about religion. And they thought that if we don't discuss these things, it would bring people together if we just didn't talk about this. Of course, that's the lie of the left. If you don't talk about it, then they can win. But what it has actually done, it has prevented us and made us inept at being able to talk about very important issues in this day and age. That's what it's done. And now because we can't, that plays into the left. Because whenever you're able to debate things and bring things to light, what kills bacteria? What kills sickness? Sunshine does. The light does. Exposure does. And ultimately you get a much better society. Let's see. What was he talking about in this next one? I can't remember.
I know the comment has divided a lot of people, and I know that I'm very much to blame for that. Okay,
I don't think he is. Look, Nick. Like you keep saying, oh, they swung and they missed. No, they didn't, man. They didn't. They didn't swing and miss. They hit where they were wanting to hit. They did what they wanted to do. The fact is you were wearing the right armor. Like you didn't back down. You doubled down. That's what happened. They hit the mark just like they hit everybody else. It's the response. It's how that target takes that blow that decides what happens after that. Because, I mean, they know what they're doing, and they've done the same thing with Nick. And because he didn't back down,
but
they don't have the talent.
Chad, as you get older, okay, listen to me. For 27, 28 years, man, I'm really mean this. I fucking hated politics. I still really don't like politics, but I kind of feel like now that I'm, the COVID thing, and then now I have a kid, you just kind of feel yourself start to care a little bit about these things. You know what I mean? You start kind of getting a little bit more passionate about it.
Now, I'm really glad that he's getting to that point that he does feel more passionate about it, that he's seeing things from his perspective, you know, and he seems to have a pretty decent base. But I would love to sit down with Nick and just talk politics and find things we do disagree on. Like, it's so much more fun to talk about something that you disagree with on than something that's, you know, rather mundane and is all in agreement. And then we're going to talk about COD. This is what he has to say. This is what
we're going to be playing a little variety going forward here until Apex heats up like crazy. By the way, I saw when the Call of Duty part came on in the intro and you guys were all throwing tomatoes at it. I saw that, bro. I thought it was kind of funny. But a little OD, yeah. Well, I mean, we might have to just chop out the Call of Duty part in the fucking intro. But the whole chat was just tomatoes. Fucked up, man. Are we ever going to see COD again? I'm not going to say no, but I'm not going to say yes either, man. I have no idea, bro. I'm just taking it as it goes right now, you know?
With love.
See what happens.
That's probably a decent take to have as a large content creator like that, you know. Dr. Disrespect came out and basically said, you know, or he did say, I'm not going to consider reinstalling it until you guys apologize and put his skin back in the game. But guys, I do hope that you appreciate, you know, me putting these together real quick, because not everybody gets to see this. I just picked out some really good, you know, parts of the stream. Very happy that, you know, we're getting this kind of exposure, because I think the culture war is starting to swing back the other way. And I'm really excited about it. I'm really pumped about it. But, you know, Nickmercs, hey, if you ever get to watch this, bro, I'd love to talk to you. I very seriously doubt it. But hey, the least you can do, okay, is like the video. How about that? That probably sucked, but that's okay. Anyways, guys, thank y'all so much for taking the time to hang out today and watch this. Leave your comments down below what you think is going on in the culture war, what you think of everything with Activision. Are you boycotting Activision? Do you support Nickmercs? Have you dropped a sub on his Twitch page yet? That's what we really need to be doing. We need to support creators that support us. We need to stop giving money to corporations that hate us, hate our families, and everything that we stand for. We need to boycott Activision and all these other woke corporations that are really just out for our kids and ESG scores. So anyways, guys, thank y'all. Have a blessed day. Happy gaming. Hit you good out.